Apologies, Commander. Her Majesty is occupied. I've been asked to direct you to Countess Anise instead.
Truth and knowledge are two different things.
Commander. Too long.
Countess, the pleasure is mine. I thought I was meeting with the Queen.
My liege is indisposed. I appreciate your flexibility.
Oh, I hope all is well. Hate to see even more flippancy tossed at her feet.
I can certainly hope, but I'm afraid drama clings to her like a bad smell.
If the
Good
gods
luck
are so
washing the
great and
linens.
So powerful, where are they?
But
Where's the proof?
that's
What
unimportant.
prayers have they answered for you
For now.
lately? What
On my
miracles
queen's behalf, I
before?
would like
Can't
to
you
extend
see
an
the futile
invitation.
nonsense of it all?
The first meeting of the Tyrian Alliance will be commencing in Lion's Arch. We would like to see you there.
The Tyrian Alliance.
Correct. Might be stuffy. But I expect some interesting developments. The world is changing. We know this. Between the demon attacks, Suwan and Oreen, we woke up to a very different world.
Do not lose hope.
Now,
Keep your hearts open to
let's hope everyone is willing to keep it in one piece. Before I forget, your invitation.
You'll find everything you need here.
Think your guild's the greatest? Come on and prove it.
Ready for anything.
Hold it. Name?
Commander, over here.
That you are. Didn't recognize the face at first. Fought alongside you during Scarlet's attack. Go ahead. Don't mind me, just being cautious. A lot of big names in this building.
It's a big job. Malice, Anise, this thing's really shaping up, isn't it?
No less cramped than any of Ash's hidden outposts.
Delegates and leaders are still arriving, but the turnout is impressive. My surprise is agreeable.
And nerve-wracking.
Everyone is comforted that you're joining us. You command quite a bit of respect here. Not all of us do the same.
Here we go.
You're modest.
Save that irascible demeanor for negotiations, Imperator. Go on. Mingle. As soon as a few more arrive, we'll get started.
Commander, good to see you.
Lot of big names in this crowd.
Certainly beats interrogations and trial preparations.
Vanguard?
Who else? We'll save that headache for opening remarks. I'm eager to put it behind us. Hasn't made things easy, though. The Dominion lives. Their numbers are just depleted.
I don't envy your workload.
Hello again. It is a genuine pleasure to see a familiar face in unfamiliar lands.
Welcome, Commander. I'm glad to finally have a meeting under less dire circumstances.
An empress and a queen. Dangerous combination.
Queen Jenna has been instrumental in Cantha's integration. I'm eager for these meetings to commence.
All I've done is make introductions.
With every trade organization and leader between the Shiver Peaks and the unending ocean. Such modesty. I'm hoping that today is productive, if not educational.
The latter, I can promise.
Keith, what are you doing here?
Commander, I'd heard you'd been invited. Glad to see you again.
Keith is joining me as counsel. We've both a stake in seeing our people thrive after everything we've endured.
I empathize with your pain. How are you doing after Aurene?
Some days are melancholy, but she still guides me. I'm needed by my people. That has given me purpose.
That they do. Keith has been vital in our pursuit of healing. We've all experienced a bit of an identity crisis after Maguma. We're well on our way, but we've problems to solve for yet.
Any step forward is a positive one.
Commander!
Bram! What happened?
Bram is representing Kragstead, acting as my own advisor.
Bram? Your advisor? Someone died.
Gawk all you need. I went home for a while after. The whole thing was an accident. One day I'm patching homesteads and caring for lone wolf pups, and the next I'm... well, here.
You? Leading an entire village? I'm impressed.
He's modest. He proved to be the leader Kragstead needed, and irreplaceable while I've helped take on more for Newt. A natural leader, oh boy.
Stop.
I'm glad for you, Bram. Air would be proud. Counselor Ludo, that's a lot of paperwork for one Asura.
Couldn't get a single one of those old sacks to put down the gavel and at least try to make friends. Did send me with a giant pile of paperwork, though. That's what I'd like to call the Asuran hello. Nonsense, most of it. Cantha is revealed. And if not for copying Asuran ingenuity, they'd still be decades behind. But we can't hide in our labs.
Little competition never hurt anyone. Much.
I certainly do hope that you are correct.
I, Countess Anise, liaison to Queen Jenna of Kryta, call all representatives of the Tyrian Alliance to council. Please, to your places. We've quite a bit to cover. First and foremost, the Pact and Orders send their regards. Structural changes have them occupied. But with that aside, the founding members have come prepared with opening statements. Affirmations of why we're here. As our mutually elected emissary, Commander, would you like to determine the order of operations?
What qualifies me to make that call?
You've had a hand in just about everything Tyria has endured since the retaking of Claw Island. We approve.
I imagine the Pale Mother supports this notion.
Sure, have at it.
I am Firstborn Dagonet. Kaith and I have ventured from the Grove to represent the Sylvari. The Pale Tree sends her regards. Her healing has been a slow process, but her spirits remain bright and focused on our growth. Our people experienced a deep wound when Mordramoth rose and fell. As a people, we have many questions about where we come from, what purpose we serve following the Elder Dragon's death. Who are we as a society? Many have decided to leave our home in search of these answers. Finding direction and purpose, that is our focus. As the Pale Tree heals, so do the rest of us.
Krisha, Imperator of the Blood Legion and elected representation from the Char. I'd be lying if I said tensions weren't high at the Citadel. With Bangar's trial nearing, another civil war isn't impossible. Even behind bars, Bangar commands respect from his most loyal. Although weakened, the Dominion is still a threat. However, the Imperators are mostly aligned. Imperator Malice of the Ash Legion joins me today in support. Ephraim sends his. You may have heard the whispers, but there are calls for another Con-Ur to rise. The Imperators don't disagree. But the Trial of Embers will wait until we've decided Bangar's fate. That is our first priority.
Counselor Ludo of the Arcane Council. I'll keep it brief. As you can observe, I am the only present representative from the Council. We are experiencing growing pains. Cantha's prowess threw us for a loop. I may be alone in this thinking, but about damn time. For a long while, the Council has lazily relied on Asuran Magitech superiority. We've become complacent, our research secondary. I, and a few others, have been advocating for a more productive integration into the global sector. No disrespect intended, but Cantha's advancements on our designs? Well, frankly, it's insulting. Our knowledge is still unmatched.
An interesting choice of words. Know that I enjoy competition. In fact, I encourage it.
As do I. My first significant motion on the Arcane Council has been to eliminate any restrictions on admittance into the Asuran colleges. Our next focus will be on global equitable information exchange. That's all. For now.
I am Scotty, son of Newt Whitebear. Sends his best. Old man just can't say no to a good brawl. Expected to heal just fine. Just as our people are healing. Unsure of how to approach the spirits. How we can help them. If we can help them.
The Sylvari share in your pain. The Pale Tree. That's been a process.
Aye. Looking ahead has been our focus. Our scouting parties have returned to the far north to explore the villages and homesteads cut off from Holbrook for decades. We've also got eyes on the sons of Svanir. Rather, what remains of them. Most fell with Jormag. Those that remain, broken, lost. If we can offer any rehabilitation, we will. But we won't welcome more violence to Holbrook.
Esteemed leaders, I am thankful to have met a few of you before. Queen Jenna has made many of these introductions. For those of you I have not met, I am Empress Yin of Cantha. I was advised to send a liaison in my stead, but I wanted to show the face of the Empire. Cantha's integration into Tyrian politics has not been swift or easy. But it is considered our greatest priority in the wake of the Elder Dragon event. Our people are largely united in wanting, but like all nations, an underbelly of resistance remains. However, I want to pull us from the murk and into the light. Cantha's technologies are vast, some might say superior, and I firmly believe that we offer something unique. And clearly share similar passions with our neighbors. Together, imagine what we could accomplish. While we are focused on diplomacy, we've had a secondary goal of enlisting archivists from across continents. Our libraries and history texts are woefully dated.
My queen.
Thank you all for your remarks. We gather on mutual ground as allies. For some, friends. We suffered the Elder Dragons. We saw a new Elona and Cantha. We've endured much. But now, Tyria has the promise of tomorrow. The last decade was cruel, but standing united today shows promise that my father only dreamt of. However, it is not on kind terms that we gather. The Alliance was formed as a reaction to a new threat. Almost a year ago now, demons attacked our villages and farmlands. Your cities and homes.
48 dead in the mountains. An entire village burned to the ground.
One attacked the grove.
2, just outside the gates of Rata Novus. They stank.
No casualties should be accepted. These attacks were calculated, I've heard. Our perpetrator? The Cryptus.
Cryptus?
And what exactly are these Cryptus? Where did they come from?
The more pertinent question, how did the Queen discern this information?
Tone.
I've dealt with an Emperor's horde of petty banter, so I pivot. Queen Jenna, care to elaborate?
This information is as novel to me as it is to the Alliance.
I've heard rumors of your trustworthiness, Your Majesty.
No hyperbole until the Queen has spoken.
Enough!
Enough! I see the
triviality of Tyrian politics has not ceased its endless parade. Shall we have a mature discussion?
Introducing representation from the Astral Ward. Iskarin.
Iskarin?
I apologize for my friend's theatrics.
And Frode, Warden of the Astral Ward.
What's going on, Jenna? Answers.
Queen. If you wish to leave with all your limbs intact.
Calm, all of you. And I thought the war bands needed babysitting. Frode, was it?
Indeed. Admittedly, I expected worse. Wayfinder, under duress as always.
Wayfinder. Ah. Should have known you had a leg in this race.
I'll try talking to them. Ready as they'll ever be. Get to the point.
They thrive on the brink of chaos.
They've all endured enough trauma for a lifetime. Patience.
If we're measuring trauma in lifetimes, they wouldn't compare.
Thank you for allowing us the time to speak to you all today. I apologize for the dramatic entrance. Again, I am Frode of the Astral Ward.
Frode. I've heard that name.
The Ward has been cloaked in shadow for centuries, protecting you from threats unknown and unlike the Elder Dragons.
The Cryptus.
The source of our demon infestation, I take it?
Beings of the Mists who are no longer a problem. Not right now. Our Wayfinder, your commander, can speak to that.
I joined their fight. The Cryptus have been contained.
I wouldn't be surprised if some still attempted to breach our realm, but they aren't organized.
He speaks truth, as the commander can attest. Hesitant trust is advised. Isgarin revealed himself to me not long before he revealed himself to all of you.
The Cryptus are harbingers of what may come next from the mists.
And you say they're no longer a threat, Wayfinder?
I've been to their realm myself. They've been stabilized.
When Su-1 passed, Tyria's essence bled into the veil beyond, the mists. We are no longer shielded by her power. Every eye turned toward us in that moment, and likely more. We glow brighter than we did before. Tyria is a unique world, coveted by those beyond.
To summarize, our demons are Cryptus, and you two, the Astral Ward, are some sort of secret organization that fights them?
Not just Cryptus, but any intruder from another realm. We've certainly faced other threats that were not born of Tyria. Why didn't you reveal yourself sooner?
Or help us with the Elder Dragons.
I will answer all of your questions, but this is not the right venue.
I'm inclined to agree. Whatever this information is, I gather it's sensitive in nature.
I imagine the room needs a moment to reflect. Shall we pause and reconvene in smaller council?
After our councils have ended, I will speak with any of you. Whatever questions you may have, I will try to answer them.
Commander, with us. We'd like to continue the conversation.
Look at them over there. Can I assume they're scheming?
No, Counselor. Assumptions are very often incorrect. We'll have plenty of time to ask our questions. And I have some for you, as we were tasked. Before the Arcane Council, my research says that you were the Dean of Statics.
I am the Dean of Statics. If I dedicated all of my time to the Council, my brain would melt and drip onto the floor.
Talented and busy. You remind me of my sister. Say, you and I should plan a visit. We're supposed to be making friends after all. I would love to host you in our labs. I'm very curious to see how they stand up to such a precise eye.
If they stand. I would love to give you my assessment, Empress. And I'm also happy to waive my consultation fees in good faith.
Good faith indeed. I see you two are getting along.
My people have recently begun early exploration of Dislana. The dragon brand is weakening, all these years later. Dangerous place. Rampant with harpies. I don't see them helping us. Perhaps the Hecate?
I've only been to the ruins of Foreigner, parts of Korna. I should visit more of Alona. When you call Dislana dangerous, what do you mean?
You've been to the best tourist attractions at least. You should visit. Dislana is taxing. Harpies are dominant, which makes it hostile territory. But my people used to hide in the mountains. We have records and rumors of temples, settlements. I don't know if anything waits for us there, but it's worth looking.
Sounds like the Greater North. Homesteads long displaced by Jormag's storm. No telling if there are any survivors.
We defeat the Elder Dragons, and this is our reward. The scraps of what used to be.
So you've met before.
Anise introduced us. Their friendship was just as much a surprise to me.
We sought another ally ahead of the Forum. We've known it was time to reveal ourselves to the world. Figured this would be better than a more public spectacle.
That inclination isn't wrong. Why now, though?
The Cryptus may be controlled, or contained. But my words should cause fear. Tyria is as blood in water.
And what exactly is attracted to that blood?
Any number of beasts and beings. I've no reason to think we're in imminent danger. But I suspect something draws closer.
And we all need to prepare. The Astral Ward is ready to help in any way we can.
So you've numbers then?
Some. Fewer after the Cryptis. We bled on the edge of that blade.
What do you propose we do?
Focus on your affairs. We'll get nowhere without some degree of control. Your nations are fragile still. Heal. Nourish.
We'll be establishing pacts with our neighbors. I suggest you do the same.
Wise.
On that subject, I'd like to offer some information on the Isle of Janthir.
Janthir. A storm looms over that place. Blood. That is not a territory I wish to cross.
I don't expect you to, but we may find more allies throughout those lands. The Lowland Coden.
My father spoke of them briefly. He left their territory untouched. Those are bonds I have not maintained.
I imagine there's more to this suggestion, Iskarin?
We should speak within thicker walls. Yes.
Wayfinder, I don't think anyone here would be better equipped to help form these bonds. You are not only a representative of the Astral Ward, but of Tyria. Look around this room. Take it in.
I could support that notion. Yes.
Utilize Moon Camp. It's only kicking up dust otherwise. We'll send ward to your aid. All your aid. The ward will establish a gateway between our outpost and the human city. With the Queen's blessing.
Blessing granted. I support this, and you, Commander. Now is the time to fortify. The Countess will meet you in Divinity's Reach.
I've witnessed cleaner executions.
Krisha, think I'm going with the commander to Janthir. I feel a professional pull. Have little intel on that location, or these Coden, and it feels vital. Or intriguing, at least.
An Imperator leaving her post to get her claws dirty. Care to steal my mate, too? Go. Be our eyes. I can cover for us.
I'll see you there, Commander.
That looks valuable.
Go with the spirits.
Prompt, as expected. Welcome, Commander. The gateway is active. I've word that Malice will meet you there. Got a glimpse of the place myself. Frode gave the Queen a proper tour. He'll be expecting you too. Though, between friends, their definition of camp is sweet. I'm sure you'll be very comfortable.
You should see the Wizard's Tower.
You are quite adapted to them, aren't you? How are you feeling about the mission, then?
Taking a wait-and-see approach. This is uncharted territory, and Janthir has quite the reputation. Venturing into Janthir to befriend Coden. Not how I envisioned that first big step.
Diplomacy is a fine craft, Commander. And making allies requires an artisan.
Dark times call for dark deeds.
Before you depart. Do we prefer Wayfinder or Commander now?
For you? I don't know if you calling me anything but Commander would sound natural.
Old habits die hard, I suppose. Good luck.
Wayfinder, the guest of honor. Welcome to Moon Camp. Vanak, if you don't remember. Fought with you against the Cryptus and Omnitos.
This is what you call a camp.
The Astral Ward? Subtle. Not a chance. Good to see you closer to ground, though. I volunteered to help with the integration. Long overdue that we got involved in Tyrian affairs. More publicly, that is. Got a few things to atone for.
Commander, Vanak was just giving us the lay of the land. Dangerous place, Janthir. Eager to scope it out.
I am as well. There's something about the atmosphere here that wilts my senses.
I didn't realize you were joining us too, Kaith.
On Dagonet's order, he didn't go into much detail about the Pale Tree's status. And perhaps it's not my place to say, but her recovery has been slower than we expected. Some days she seems weaker than the day before. We search for a remedy. The Astral Ward knows magic, and ancient magic at that. I'm hoping we can form a connection with you.
I do too, for what it's worth. And all help is good in these parts. Janthir is a nasty place to get lost. But before you touch ground, Frode wanted to speak with you, Wayfinder. Seemed urgent enough to prioritize.
Right. I'll track him down. Frode, I trust you're getting some sleep in between missions.
I used to be in charge of Moon Camp before Levente named me Warden.
Something must be serious to pull the Warden from Omnitas.
You know us well. It's true. The lowland Coden will be fine allies of Queen Jenna and the Tyrian Alliance. That is no lie. They know these lands better than most. Janthir and the northern stretches are formidable. How much did you learn of Waiting Sorrow during your time in Omnitas?
Waiting Sorrow? Your missing wizard? Not a lot, besides the fact that she created the Heart of the Obscure.
Indeed. I've never met her, of course, as she's been missing since before Ascalon burned to the ground. This must stay between us, for now. But we suspect that she's hiding among the Coden.
You want me to find her?
It isn't a burden on your shoulders alone. The Ward is here to support in whatever way we can. But, yes, we need you to.
Is she dangerous?
She's very capable. For your own safety, expect resistance. I wish I knew more. Between us, Wayfinder, all conversation about her turns Isgarin more conspiratorial than usual.
Then I'll keep my guard up.
Good. For what it's worth, Dagda doesn't agree with him. She was also Waiting Sorrow's closest friend, so there's bias. But that's all I've got, so I'll leave you to it. Get to know the region. We'll set out in search of the Coden soon as well. They've been known to homestead along the delta and the coastline. They'll build for 100 or so years, then move. Unsure of their exact position, but I imagine we're close. We portaled Moon Camp here to avoid scaring the locals.
Probably more subtle than flying it over the bay. Good call.
Stalwart Hart pulled some research noting they're not especially keen on magic. A floating building may cause alarm. But, good luck. I'll be here to guide you as I can. Ward's busy with the reacclimation. It's going to be a long process.
How are things with the Ward?
Fine. Tense. Isgarin wanted to lock our doors and go back into hiding, but that's just not an option for us. We have 100 fractal inhabitants taking up residence in Omnitas, and I doubt they want to stay. They're sitting in a limbo of our making. And that's just one problem.
Are you going to get the Alliance involved? Probably a smart move.
I think we have to. Lear agrees. He strongly agrees. Isgarin's worried that the world will think us monsters, which is a fair fear, but our actions aren't above critique. I'm airing my angst. Suffered a few long nights, but we're moving in the right direction. Don't let me distract you.
Any brilliant insights from Frode, Commander?
He and I caught up and talked about the Coden. We're not exactly sure where they're settled today, but they're likely close. Astral Ward research also says that they're a little distrustful of magic. We'll want to keep that in mind.
Sounds like we've plenty to strive for, then. We should get moving. I don't know this region.
I'd recommend taking it slow. When we call Janthir treacherous, we mean it.
How big is Janthir?
Huge. Practically in Kryta still. But the deltas are considered a part of the Isles due to their climate and flora. It stretches far to the north, running parallel to the northern Shiver Peaks.
as far as modern maps are concerned. The Isles and Bay make up most of the occupied territory, with some coastal regions lining the mainland. There was even a small human outpost on the Isles, but it's long abandoned now. Don't know a lot about it.
Not a good place to be, then.
That's a Cryptus axe. I'd recognize it anywhere.
Yep. Moon Camp operated in the area during the attacks. Eparch's grunts were poking at something here. Never figured out what.
Given Janthir's history, I imagine there are any number of things a demon could be drawn to. Not especially inspiring, though.
What can you tell us about the history of this place?
Former home of the Mersat, and later the White Mantle. From my research, there's been very little activity in recent years.
Correct. Aside from the Kodan, only a few other groups have called it home. Some centaur tribes, trolls, creatures that keep to themselves. And the Isles are another story. I recommend you read up on it. A lot of blood has been spilled here. A lot of things come to Janthir to hide from the rest of Tyria. That's why the Mersat built Bava Nisos here. Though, that place is all ruins and storms now. Hard to get close.
Bava Nisos? What's that?
Former Mersat city. Fixed in the middle of the Isles. Been abandoned for a long time. Don't think I'd want to go anyway. Maban told me about it. Didn't sound all that hospitable. He went back from time to time. Memories, I imagine. Or guilt. That's a Valraven Talon. Nasty beast. The ward has little documentation, aside from a few first-hand accounts. When few travelers come through Janthir, stay away from them at all costs.
It's so quiet.
Reminds me of Drizzlewood. Abundant vegetation. I wonder how much of this is edible.
I learned a long time ago not to eat strange plants. Now, where should we go first?
Sounds like something to be determined by a wayfinder.
We should follow that stream. See where it leads.
Janthiri flora is fascinating. And probably very toxic. Goodness, look at you. This is a very old tree. Imagine the stories it could tell us. Standing tall and strong, protecting the smaller growth.
Eyes up, Keith.
It may be dangerous, but this place... it's stunning.
That's one word for it. I wonder where the flow of water will take us. Watch out for the cliff. Wouldn't make for a nice fall.
Never mind the cliff. Watch out!
Whoa, that had to hurt. You are all weak.
What were those things?
Must be Valraven. Talons look just like the one Vinok showed us.
Ward, I need assistance now! Alchemy! It won't calm!
Treacherous, eh?
Better check it out. Together, everyone!
What has them so riled up?
Your soul is mine.
Attacking on sites so close to a populated camp is concerning behavior.
Bet it has something to do with that distress call.
Reasonable take.
Claw marks.
And from quite a large beast, I imagine.
Footprints and more claw marks. Chase them away from camp.
Blood. We better hurry.
Anyone! Help us!
Come on.
Wayfinder!
Strong.
I am dead. Surround it quickly. The rest of you follow as we guide. The creature is vulnerable. Again, we don't seek to kill it unless absolutely necessary.
Who are you?
Outlander, use this salve. Breathe.
Who are you?
Curious garbs you wear. Perhaps something sturdier would do you better in these parts. Which of you is the leader?
Commander?
I'm in charge.
I've looked at those great walls all my life. Proud, the humans. I'd like to get to know you. I'm sure the Claw would, too. The sun is fading. Wherever you traveled from, our village is likely closer. Follow. We've got a fire for you to sit by.
Thank you.
We'll follow, but who are you?
Barbed Veil. Come. You can help us lead the journeykin to safety. But we must move quickly, unless you want to lose yourself in the woods. Our nights have been far darker. The Valraven watch.
Journeykin? You mean that wild animal?
Fascinating beasts they are. Came to us from far away. They need protectors.
It's enraged again?
Stay calm. Help it release that energy, just like last time.
You are all I am.
As I told you, Outlander, the salve. Again, keep your voices stable. Help it relax. Use the salve.
We're your friends.
Good, good.
Starting to think that it's enjoying this.
It could be. Let it release that energy.
Low on endurance.
Again.
You are all weak.
Welcome.
And so close to camp. I was expecting a little more of a hike.
It's been a long while since we've let the outside in. Travelers avoid these lands, and for good reason. Not intentional isolation, that is. It isn't my story to tell, however, and we're nearing the pen. Here, Commander. Use this to calm the beast.
What is it?
Food. Animals, especially feral ones, only know a life of hunting, fighting for their food. A kind interaction and a gift is sometimes all it needs to learn trust.
You return with more than another journeykin, Spearmaster.
More creatures lost in the wild.
A claw of the Coden that I've never heard of, huh?
Call me Stoic Older.
We found them in the forest, defending themselves against this one.
I'm glad you intervened before any lives were lost. Come, we should speak.
As a delegate of the Tyrian Alliance, it's good to meet you, Stoic Alder.
Interesting. I never thought Tyria capable. Clearly, we've plenty to discuss. Come. The village welcomes you.
I'll tend to our friend.
Thankfully, you've stumbled into the kindest alcove in Janthir. Seems we have visitors. Rather unexpected in our keep. Welcome the Tyrian Alliance.
Tyria has allied? Amusing joke you play, leader.
Your skepticism is understandable. But given the severity of recent threats, Tyria needed to act fast. And unitarily.
Threats? Surely the strangers do not walk among all lands.
If you mean the creatures attacking from mist portals, I'm afraid so. We call them Cryptus.
Ah, mist portals. It's of the flesh stalkers that this alliance speaks. Yes. As foes, they proved fatal ones. Lives lost on your front as well, Jen.
I'm afraid so. And allying proved the viable solution, finally.
Fear can be a supreme unifier, or divider, depending on how it is channeled. So, this is why you come to my hearth, with eyes carrying intention. A bid to join your alliance.
Who knows what other threats the mists might bring? Should that happen, we'll have strength in numbers.
I respect your good intentions, but need time to ponder its implications for our own. For now, that is my decision. At this time, I extend our visitors the opportunity to speak with our council members.
Why, hello there. Rai Lycan, humble lore master of the lowland. Long before our tribe came to inhabit Janthir, we hailed from a sanctuary far in the north. In those times, we were led by two honored Coden, a claw chosen by the people, Alder's role, same as his mother before him. Also, a voice. She was chosen by Koda himself to share in his mind, ultimately proving her worth by the trial of faith. A trial that would prove both to her detriment and the tribe's. Mid-trial, nearly crushed by the weight of madness, she fled. Some call it cowardice. I believe it was the will to survive that seized her from the brink of oblivion. The same will our claw channeled in the trial's aftermath. Rather than risk ruin, he led the tribe south, to Janthir. Given time, some Coden found themselves called back by the will of Koda, a call they followed to Or. The rest, our forebearers, remained. And it is here, free from gods, tried only by nature, that we find our sanctuary. Well, at least, that's the speech I've prepared for the Cubs' annual history visit. I fear it sounds a bit rehearsed.
Grazed by fire, Journeykin Master. Apologies. My thoughts are occupied by council matters at the moment. If you find yourself with time to pass, my apprentice Burning River is out tending the village Journeykin. Tell him to give you some lessons at my request. They're fine creatures. I suspect you'll make fast friends.
Fading Aurora.
Aurora and Barbed Veil, who you first ran into, are two of our newest to don the Master title. Though, judging by their expertise, one would suspect them seasoned veterans of their respective crafts. Additionally, Aurora has fast proved an upstanding mentor for my son.
Currently working on the fundamentals of herbalism.
Save some praise for yourself, Alder. The previous Claw would be proud to see how well you're faring in the position.
The Claw Aurora speaks of was my mother. Feels both long ago and as recent as yesterday that she stood where I do now.
Though a few claw lengths shorter. By my coming of age, she barely made it to my shoulders. But her presence was grand enough to fill the room.
A true leader of Coden. Many have noted the resemblance. See a bit of her in you both. Wayfinder, you find yourself in good company. Hope you can make yourself at home here.
The role of Claw was taken, so I settled for a title more modest.
My son has some years before he claims such expertise, though his mind is sharp. Observing our council provides him practical education, instills discipline.
Poised Arrow, son of Stoic Alder and Silken Weir. You? A wayfinder losing their way in our woods. And now Commander. That has a strong sound to it. But if you insist, lost your wayfinder.
Seems our visitor also claims two names. We of the lowland drop formality with those we most respect. Right, Pokey?
Yes, Pa.
Leader, best we return to the planned agenda, pressing as it is.
Your concerns are sensible, graced by fire. Poised Arrow, I'm afraid our discussion shall prove as stuffy to our guests as the air in this hall. Show them around.
But we've only just... A fine idea. Best they enjoy the weather while it holds. Meet me outside when you're set.
Alliance, I deem you welcome visitors, for the time being. Feel free to acquaint yourselves with our town. Fortunate for you, the embers of our summer season burn brightest. May your time here pass well.
That looks valuable.
Let us make things interesting. Watch for changing patterns within the dancer. See if you can handle the might of my guest rhythms. Let us dance together.
Oh, a partner. Charmed I am. Old knees don't work as they used to, but the moves come as second nature by this point. Just follow my lead.
Brave to join us. Years before I worked up the nerve myself. Follow my steps and you'll be set.
Fine footwork. But insult you by going too easy. I never. Let's step things up. Finale has arrived. Let us now welcome the harvest in glorious dance. Shed the final husks of summer. Shut them goodbye. Shut them. Master will tell of this for ages
You
to
can never
come.
have too much treasure.
Dance with us any time, newcomer.